Good afternoon. I wanted to record another video and talk a little bit about what we read last week and what we'll be reading in the upcoming chapters. So, we talked a little bit about what we see in schools, some issues that bother children, what impacts, how this can impact teaching, and how I think some of you might have touched on burnout and how to keep the motivation to keep teaching in a difficult field where there's constantly rising expectations, minimal financial support, and these ever continuous challenges on the student side. So, one of the things we didn't get very deep into is the school culture and the community that a school has, and that can be very beneficial to the teachers and to the students. Students who come from a school community that is very accepting and sort of has this wraparound support system um, have develop a sense of belonging and can meet greater success. Teachers who belong to a school system that has a great culture also are rewarded intrinsically and are better motivated to stay in the profession and to particularly stay in that district. We also talked about the diversity of students that come through the classrooms and um, how there can be strategies and classrooms can be set up to instruct different learners and different language learners. I appreciated reading all of your essays in the past week. They all touched on different questions from the pause and reflect, and that was really interesting. So thank you for sharing those with me, and everybody got them in on time. That's wonderful. I just want to add, while we're talking about our assignments, to be sure we're writing in APA format, make sure you look at your rubric for each assignment and see what what is expected from you. A rubric can be a great way for teachers to grade. It tells you exactly what the credentials are for the assignment and how you're going to measure grading it. It's really helpful for parents of students when we're looking at trying to make sense of your child's grade and see where their weaknesses might have been on the assignment. And as a student yourself, you can use a rubric to set how you're going to perform at your best level, and otherwise see where you might be going wrong. And certainly, if you have any questions about the rubric, feel free to reach out and email me. I'd be happy to straighten anything else out. And I appreciate those who have emailed me and asked me questions about the assignments. I'm trying to, when I get a couple emails, I'm trying to make sure that I answer them and as well as put it in the announcements so that it's clarifying for everyone. So please pay attention to the announcements as well. So, getting back to what we had been talking about, we talked about multicultural education, we talked about social justice and poverty, and all of these things are going to be leading into what we'll be talking about this week about instructing and how we teach all these different children and what instructional strategies are best for different learners and how we can use classroom management to not lose any instructional time. That can be very important. And one of the things that we'll also talk about in the upcoming week is how to continuously learn. As a teacher, you are going to continually need to get your license recertified. You will be involved in professional development. And I can only encourage those of you looking at jobs in the future, consider asking or inquiring during the interview process about walkthroughs. Walkthroughs are a wonderful way for teachers to continue to learn. They set up teams in schools, and what they do is they pick a theme or a standard, and you walk through the class, a certain number of classrooms, and you sort of evaluate, you do sort of a peer review on what you saw and how it's tied to that rubric or a standard, and then you discuss it and think of brainstorm ideas to maybe help that person if they had a weakness or how you could implement that in your classroom. So I think my best ideas I've gotten from other teachers, and I think that that's a wonderful way to continue to think of great ideas, to expand your own great ideas, and to continuously improve. So I look forward to hearing from your discussions this week. We do not have an assignment this week. I would like you to get your observations set up this week for the following week. You're going to need to be in a public school, so keep that in mind. And you'll need the paperwork appropriately filled out and meeting the timelines. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and let me know. Best of luck and have a great week.